All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're at. We are back with a Watch Mike episode here, brought to you by an awesome guest. Super excited to have him with us today. We got Mike Davis, UFC lightweight stud, has been tearing it up. Mike, welcome to the show, and thanks so much, buddy, for coming out today.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure.
Glad
I've been trying to do
man.
this since the last time with Vis, but
I know this.
I almost died that day. I was dying,
dude. Yeah, what that you got? Like you came down with like was it the COVID at that time or just some random? Instantly, right?
Instantly, like overnight, instantaneous, deathly sickness. I couldn't move. I was in bed that whole day.
Dude, that's the worst, man. And we couldn't even blame you because I remember when you came into the chat and you were telling us, we were like, "Oh, dude, take the time to rest because we'd rather you're healthy than hop on and doing that shit because it's hard when you're not feeling well, you know."
For sure.
Sorry, I had to get some water in me real quick before we get to the gritty. All right, man. Well, guys, everybody, welcome in once again. If you don't know Mike Davis, why don't you go ahead and take a quick second to go drop him some love. We got him tagged in the title as well. You can find him here on Twitch at Mike Davis UFC. If you type him in the search, go throw him a follow. Mike, what are you on Kick? Are you the same on Kick as well, my friend? Because I know you've been over there too a bit. Okay.
Mike. Yeah, I have. I've been, experimenting with the colors.
Yeah, talk to us about that a little bit. Like, what you feeling one a little bit more than the other, or kind of just feeling it all out?
I'm feeling everything out, but honestly, when it comes to streaming, I like Twitch. Twitch has been good for me. I just started streaming a year ago. It's been 1 year. But Kick, everything that they're rolling out with is just 10 times better.
You're right, man.
You can't really doubt it.
It's attractive.
Take away from it.
You know?
Yeah, the 95, now they're paying you per hour. It's a lot there.
You ever see that meme of like that picture that the guy like walking with his girlfriend and then he's like turning around looking at that I feel like we're like that guy. Twitch is that one arm in arm, but then Kick is back there. You're like, damn.
Kick is
okay.
Yeah, Kick is looking good.
Okay.
I see a lot of people switching.
Yeah.
My entire crowd here on Twitch has switched.
Okay. Yeah. So I was going to say, like, being somebody who has recently started streaming a little bit, more recently, doing the switch like that, like, have you been noticing that some of the people that were riding with you on Twitch have also came over, or has it been kind of like some new faces too?
Oh, it's all new faces.
Sweet.
But I noticed that the crowd that was here on Twitch is like dissipated.
Okay.
They're all hanging out in Kick crowds and everywhere else. They're not here anymore.
That's the nature of the beast in a way like that too, like once you move a little bit as well, like, people will follow that, and kind of try out some new stuff too. It's definitely, I've tried a little bit of the Kick here and there as well. Not quite as much, I don't think as you have, but like I said, it's attractive. So I'm keeping my options open. You never know what might happen in this crazy game, right?
I mean, that's life.
Right.
You get opportunities, you don't miss out on them.
It's kind of like, it's like, it's like Francis in a way, Francis Ngannou, going from the UFC to the PFL. Like everyone's like, well, the UFC, this is this is where to be. But he's like, this is where the money is, So it looks like some fighters in their fighting promotions are kind of similar ideology in a weird way,
I feel like I'm also in that little boat right now.
Yeah.
The UFC sounds great. And man, I got 3 fights on my contract, but money talks, man.
You got three more?
3 more.
3 more. Okay. But money talks. Well, I'd say you think that the UFC, though, might start. I mean, obviously, it's all just speculation in the conversation that comes up all the time, but hopefully to see some increased pay for some of these re-signs, especially with people like you who are performing, like bringing kind of like Derek Lewis here a little bit. I mean, I'm sure he knew he probably could have went and gotten some money if he went for that super fight with the guy in the PFL, but then the UFC gave him 8 fights, and I'd assume a big number. So maybe they'll start coming around a little bit on these renewals now that there's some more competition, because we've seen that with Twitch and other websites in the past too. Twitch will pony up.
They have to.
When people start leaving, Yeah,
they have to.
They
don't really have a choice anymore.
Right. Well, yeah, they don't really have a choice anymore. And I got to say, I think after last year, man, this is me being just like a numbers guy. I think that the UFC came in somewhere around like 300 million profit last year. So like more than any other action, or combat sports league promotion combined, So it's like, we're getting to the point now where it's like, all right, boys, we want to see some more cheddar for our men and women that are stepping inside that octagon and and letting it
I've
go,
talked
you
about
know?
this before. You know, they have the money, they have the opportunity, and they can even like weasel out the roster. Give less people to fight,
Right.
better fights. Stop bringing in 80 people off of the contender series
Mm.
for no reason. Just because they want to fight, you bring them in here.
Yeah,
So let's make the roster a little smaller and give the people on it already a salary. Give them
right.
the salary plus a fight bonus plus this.
That's a pretty cool idea. I never really actually looked at it that way, but being the fact that in other traditional sports you do have a salary as well as I'm sure performance bonuses and
Yeah,
incentivizations. So why not see something like that perpetuate to MMA? You
that's what
know,
I mean.
because I guess that's something that like this is what I told Mike before, guys, that like I usually come a little prepared, but once the convo starts flowing, things pop into my head, and this is like I guess kind of like what I was like kind of going towards with you saying this is, do you see that like with so much changing like that, I guess, do you think that you expect the UFC to change as well? And I know you said that it's kind of coming to the point where they have to, but I feel like that's kind of the organization that they like to beat to the tune of their own drum.
100%.
So,
They
I
really
don't know
do.
if it gives them it gives them that mystique, because like so a fighter does some shit, right? And like Dana White's like, I don't give a fuck. But like then somebody does some shit in the
Every time.
NFL and they're just like, all right, this guy's gone, or like, or whatever. So it's like, I would love to see them
Dana
give some more,
he doesn't care about the main people doing stuff. Like when Izzy did
Ah,
that very awkward the N word
yeah,
overuse of the
yeah,
N word,
yeah.
and Dan was like, Whatever, let him say whatever." It's just because of who he is, and
Okay. Yeah, he did say
I
that
can't
in
say
the
that.
interview.
Oh, 100%. I'm not fighting for the UFC anymore. I said something like that.
Yeah, what do they do cuts and fines like type of thing? Like,
Yeah.
do you get fined for saying some dumb shit or something, or like possibly cut even? Or
I haven't been fined yet.
oh
Knock on wood. But
no, I just meant like
I've
in
had seen some
general.
people get fined though.
Right, right. That's what I was curious to know. Like if you've seen of it in the past.
I have seen people
Okay.
get fined, but it's mostly for failing USADA. USADA fined you. I've
Oh,
seen
okay. So
numbers
not the
up
UFC.
there in like 20K for fines.
Damn.
And for a
Damn.
fighter that's not, top 10, that's
That's a chunk.
20K. It's a lot
That
of money.
half your purse?
Pretty much,
Pretty
yeah.
much, right? Damn. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's pretty nuts. What what do you think about the let's bring spin into this. What do you think about these increasingly common now post fight face-offs that are happening in the octagon, and you brought up the one that I think kind of like
Yeah.
didn't make me feel that good about them occurring was the Izzy and Duplessis situation. I just felt like one,
Yeah.
that just doesn't seem like the UFC to me. It doesn't really seem like MMA to me, and it kind of makes me lean towards that WWE acquisition a little bit
I
more.
was thinking the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like it gives me that
Yep.
WWE vibe big time, but it seems like they're trending in this direction now with doing this type of stuff. I mean, they did it with Aljo and Sterling last time. Who knows what's going to happen with this upcoming pay-per-view if they do something like that again? You know what I mean? So just out of curiosity, like I guess I'm assuming your initial feeling, you're not that big of a fan of it, but what is your take on that kind of face-off stuff they've been doing?
I mean, I'm not a shit talker at all. Like I never have been, and I probably never will be.
It's New York, buddy,
But
you
to
know?
see it going on, it's definitely WWE style, and I feel like I saw something about them trying to partner with WWE. So I feel like they're taking notes. Honestly, they're like, "Hey, Izzy, why don't you go up there and talk some stuff? Did you do some stuff?" So I feel like it's happening. I feel like it's adjusting to that to create more of a like a show.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even somebody in chat brought it up. Also, I would say you get a lot of love in the chat, man. I think some of that Twitch fam you were telling me about came to swing through. So, what's up, guys? Great to see you in the building today. And somebody kind of brings it up, like boxing is definitely always leaned on that show style. I mean, these crazy walkouts that some of these guys have. I always think of the Deontay Wilder walkout when he came out in that like 80-pound suit and then got starched by Tyson because he was like gassed from walking in like that armor or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if like it kind of goes hand in hand with the combat sports and like the promotion of it and the mic skills, which I know is something in the UFC that a lot of people have kind of been leaning into a little bit more now, that kind of was started with the whole Connor and Chael era. And now it's kind of seeming like you get a lot of people that start trying to do this mic stuff. And, I respect it though, your
So
approach,
like taking
right?
over the mic after
Right.
a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
I
try
mean
and hype it up.
that's how
and
you
all
got to
that.
be with the UFC. I tell people all the time, the UFC is not meant to be like your end all, but you need to build yourself, your brand off of the UFC. You got to use the publicity, the millions of viewers that are watching every time you fight, and you got to use that to build something you're going to do after the UFC.
Right. I think that's very, very good advice. I think that even exists in traditional sports as well. Like your
Definitely.
normal sports, maybe not as frequently because like as we have discussed on the show already, and a discussion that happens all the time, there's obviously a very large discrepancy in pay from a traditional sport to like more of like a combat sport. So maybe that's something that they don't have to worry about doing as much. But I think that in general, whatever it may be, it's always good to use a platform that you currently have to your benefit to help you build something for the longer term. Because, as I'm sure you can attest a lot more than I can, you definitely don't want to be getting punched in the face for 25 years. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
So have you
feel
seen
like
it? Oh, go ahead.
35 is your limit.
Okay. How old are you now?
People are at 40 and they're still fighting, but it all depends. If I look like Yoel Romero at 40, yeah, I'm gonna keep fighting.
Jim Miller wants a word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, right? Some of these guys are crazy about it, man,
Oh, I'm 30, by the way. I just turned 30. I'll be 31 soon.
When was the birthday? Recently?
It's gonna be October, so I'll be 31 soon.
Okay, nice. All right, so we're actually the same age because I just turned 31 a couple weeks back as well. So I think we're both 92 there. Hey, thanks, buddy. If I don't
92.
see you before October, which I'm sure I will, but happy birthday too. Well, dude, I wanted to say we got a little connection. Kind of, I know we were rolling there with just some off the top conversation, but you're from New York. Are there a little background research? You know what I mean? And this actually stemmed from our first time we were supposed to do a little interview with the homie Vis. So I was just diving into a little bit about that. So from New York, you were there for a while, right? Did you move to Florida for MMA, or give us that story about how we changed places here?
Oh man, so I grew up in New York for 20 years. I believe I left when I was 19.
Okay,
and I had my first real relationship right before I moved, and it didn't work.
Sure.
And when it didn't work, I was like, this is what it feels like, huh? Heartbreak City. so I was just driving down the road one day, and I was like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I packed all my stuff, and I noticed my uncle lived down here, so he offered me a room, and I just came down by myself.
Fuck yeah. I love that. You just took a risk.
I was training at the time, and I wasn't really the biggest. I wasn't really into the sport as much as I am now. I was 9-0 as an amateur, though. Okay. It was because of the gym I was training at.
And this was the one in Florida?
No, the gym up in New York. It was called Death Roll MMA, I believe. And I was training there. They kept putting me in fights like every few weeks I was fighting.
Wow. So high turnover.
Yeah. I was just fighting a lot.
And you liked it at the time?
Once I moved down here, I couldn't get a fight at all.
Due to promotions or people just not wanting to be as game?
I think it was people not wanting to be game down here.
They saw that 9-0, buddy.
I could not get a fight. I could not get a fight.
Who wants to fight a 9-0 guy from New York, man? Listen, that's a tough draw right there, all right?
Yeah. I went pro, and the only person that would take a fight for my debut was like this #1 ranked featherweight in Florida. So I had to cut down to 145 to fight this kid. My first cut, I missed weight. I was 146.9.
Your first pro fight, this was?
Yeah, my first pro fight, my debut.
What was that like, making that pro debut and like cutting down to a different weight class? Obviously you said the cut was a little bit tough. That's a little bit extra weight to cut, but like how did that
sucky?
Yeah, shitty.
No, so when we started the weight cut, I got to 55 and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. He's like, I'm like 45 when this is 45. And I was like, oh, that's right. 10 more. It felt fine up into 152 pounds.
Okay.
From those last 7 pounds are a nightmare. In and out of the sauna, in the bathtub, no food, no water. My mouth's dry. I feel like I took damage to my body from doing that first weight cut.
Okay.
The way I did it too. I didn't really have
Good
the people
dietitian.
to tell me how and the nutrition and all that stuff. I didn't have all that knowledge, so it was just bad.
Is this I went back a little bit to just bring it up it was this you won this fight
Yeah. I
knocked him
did
out
not lose any of my fights until I fought
Yusuf.
Sadiq.
Right. Which
Yeah.
this is a conversation that I definitely wanted to get in. We can get into it now. We get into it in a little bit after some more preliminary stuff.
No, I got time. I'm
What's I was saying, man? I mean, like, for those who don't know, Mike here has been very impressive in his MMA career, right? He is 10-2, if I have my numbers correctly, and he's only lost 2 fights to like extremely high level competition. Like we're
the
talking
highest level.
Yeah, we're talking
Both
some of the
top 10
best.
fighters.
I mean, you got Gilbert Burns. If you don't know Gilbert Burns and you're watching this show, then you just don't listen to me enough, because that's a name that comes up all the time. I mean, legend of the game, has been fighting forever, great fighter, like, you know, and this is the type of talent that it's taking to take Mike out, you know. And same thing with Yusuf, you know, great fighter as well, who has grown a lot too, and his UFC career has budded too. And this is kind of what I wanted to ask you, is taking those L's clearly helped you grow so much as a fighter, because in your past, even after your Yusuf loss, you cleaned up great there, went into the loss against Burns, and now, man, you've just looked fantastic. I mean, the knockout over Gifford, the battle with Mason Jones, and then taking it to a striker like Borshev, like, man, 3-fight win streak now. So I guess to sum it up, I'm a rambler. How did those losses help you grow, not only as a fighter, but as a person?
The first one, it kind of opened my eyes.
Sure.
And I said this in another interview. It was all right. So I was undefeated. I've never lost a single fight until I fought Sadiq. I was like 26-0 in total combat sports and Muay Thai, boxing, whatever. I fought him. I lost, and I blamed it on my gym. I blamed it on training at a boxing gym. I was solely a boxer. They didn't really prepare me to wrestle, prepare me to do jiu-jitsu, which if I did in that fight, 100% right now, I would have won that fight. I took him down while I was rocked in that fight. So it would have been a different situation. So now I blamed it on the gym. I left the gym. I moved to an MMA gym. I moved down south where I could train at American Top Team with like Dustin Poirier and all them. I honed myself as a mixed martial arts fighter. I took 2 more fights waiting for the UFC to give me another shot.
Sure.
I won a professional belt, the Island Fights Pro Belt 155. And then I fought Mexico's national kickbox or Muay Thai champion. And I beat both of them. Got the call 3 weeks later to fight Gilbert Burns. And I didn't know who it was. So I just took the fight. My manager was very honest. He's like, Mike, this is probably not the fight you're going to win, but this is the entry to the UFC. You'll have a 4-fight contract after this fight. And I was like, whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
Let's take the fight. I lose that one. And in my head after the fight, I wasn't too disappointed because everyone started talking to me about who Gilbert Burns was and how he's already ranked in the top, top 10
here.
At
that point, he was close.
He has more fights in the UFC than I have altogether. So I was like, all right, he's experienced, he's this, that. So I didn't take it too bad, but then it got me thinking, like, the 2 fights I've had in the UFC, I lost. Maybe I'm not meant to be in the UFC. Maybe I'm not good enough to be in the UFC.
Sure.
So it took a toll on me. I trained after Gilbert Burns. I went to Thailand immediately.
Sick.
I fought April 19th.
Good
fought
memory.
Gilbert Burns.
I got the numbers in front of me, but Mike's off the top here, ladies and gentlemen. The man's calculated, all right?
And then May 20th, I left for Thailand. I stayed there until like July. I learned a lot about like striking, discipline. I talked to a lot of people. I came back here in July, trained a little bit, took the fight against, what was his name? Danny something. I was supposed to fight.
Was it
Danny
in the UFC?
Yeah.
Is this did he get replaced by the Gifford dude that you knocked out, or was that a different fight?
He got replaced with Giga, but I also couldn't take the fight because I had MRSA for the first time. I got MRSA.
Okay.
So I didn't know I had MRSA. And when he backed out of the fight, I was like, all right, that's perfect because I want to get my arm checked out. My arm's starting to hurt. I had MRSA in my arm building into
No
my
shit.
chest. So I had to back out of that fight.
Glad thing you caught that when you did, man, because that shit could get gnarly, dude. Good shit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. So then yeah, like 2 weeks later, they offer me Gifford. And I just take it on. I took it on 5 days notice.
5
days
days
notice. Tuesday.
So you're
Tuesday
staying.
morning.
You're staying. What do you like? If you don't mind me asking, you can tell me. I don't want to answer that. What do you walk around at weight wise?
75.
Okay. So it's probably pretty
like,
pretty standard for you to take that 20 off in like a short amount of time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. For now, back then I was not this heavy. I was like
a little
60,
bit lighter.
65, 68.
Okay, nice. So even a smoother cut from that point then.
I bulked after Mason Jones because when I felt Mason Jones fights at 170.
Right.
When I fought him,
You could
he
feel
felt
it.
like Gilbert Burns. He felt just like Gilbert
stronger,
Burns.
a little more
so I was
durable.
like, oh yeah. It's like I don't belong in 55 unless I go up. So I took that year that I had for my surgeries to bulk and get stronger to be in a 55 division. Right. And now I feel untouchable.
Great. Yeah. I mean, buddy, you've looked pretty untouchable. Let me say. I mean, and I wanted to bring this up now that you're giving us a little bit of a background and some stuff that I knew, but maybe some people listening didn't know. Man, it seems like your game is very well rounded. I mean, I know you had a pretty bright wrestling career in your early days around like high school, right? And then I know you mentioned it before, but I also did some more research and saw that you also went on to have a 3-0 as a professional boxer as well, if my numbers are correct. Yeah, so
3-0 as a boxer.
As you guys are hearing it right here from Mike, you know, he's had the background not only in wrestling, not only in boxing, not only in training MMA. I mean, going to Thailand, where I'm going to say he probably was focusing a lot on Muay Thai, just making an assumption, you know, but you know what I mean? So it really seems like you have done an incredible job of incorporating multiple facets of the mixed martial arts into your game. And do you feel that as you continue to do that, like you said, it's just kind of elevating your skill set to that point where not only do you feel untouchable, you look untouchable, but your confidence is like untouchable now as well because you feel so well-rounded?
That was the one thing that holds me back a lot is my mentality and my confidence in my own abilities. And every fight, I know I get better. I see it. When I fought Thomas Gifford, I didn't feel like I could knock people out. When I fought Mason Jones, when I fought Mason Jones, I didn't want to get, into his kind of his game, his brawl. And I barely got hit in that fight. It looks crazy. The fight looks crazy, but if you watch the slow motions, I barely get hit in that fight.
I like that. And I fought Instagram video you posted after that fight.
Yeah.
I saw that. What'd you call him? Bitcheslav?
Vicislav, that's his name.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you say you're not a shit talk. I said, damn. I thought you called him Vicislav. I heard it wrong. My fault. We ain't talking no shit, Vicislav, all right? We love you. I like his dance he does after his wins too, but
I just showcased a little bit of my wrestling.
Right.
And that opened my eyes, be like, oh snap! So
you got some wrestling.
I can really wrestle here.
Yeah,
but I know I can wrestle 100%.
Right back on Island, you took a submission victory as well. So, man, you got the wrestling, you got the knockout, and you got the submission, man. So look, that's what I'm saying.
I consider myself a grappler. I 100%. Man, my grappling is where I shine. And everybody that trains with me knows that. Like, I'm very hard to deal with on the ground. But because my striking is so fluid, you have to get past my striking in order to see my grappling, and nobody really does.
Right. And then if that case is that in the event that somebody might, that's when you meet them with
grappling. They have to deal with my grappling.
Exactly. And that's the benefit of that well-rounded game. Where you said now you're maybe earlier on in the career, your confidence in certain areas was lower than your confidence in other areas. And now with such high confidence across the board, you really are prepared for whatever your opponent's throw at you. You want to get into a Mason Jones brawl? Well, we're going to utilize good footwork and head movement to avoid, strikes. You go up against someone like Borshev, we're going to take him down, throw him in the full mount. I mean, dude, you almost got him out of there in that round one, if I remember correctly, in that fight with that full mount.
They should have stopped that fight.
That was close, bro. You were landing some big rights from that.
That was close. They should have stopped that fight twice.
So, he's got lucky that wasn't a stoppage as well. But like I said, I mean, just from what, like, you've described here, just from talking to you for the past 30 minutes, that's something that I have inevitably seen, watching you fight and watching some tape of your fights. Like it's very evident that you're able to adapt to that style or that strength of your opponent and then use that to your advantage and find their holes. So that's really, really sweet to see. What is, do you have now, this is where I have some other questions, like kind of like some fire questions. Like, do you have like a favorite strike or a favorite submission or, like a favorite move that you like to utilize the most, like in the octagon? Like what's like the Mike Davis go-to? Like, obviously.
Well, in the octagon is different.
Right.
Because there's stuff I can do training that I don't do in the octagon because of the risk that it is. Sure. Like spinning heel kicks, spinning back kicks. Those in training, I'll throw them back to back to back. Like I'll just spam them
like a top just out there spinning around.
Yeah. But in a fight, I don't think I've thrown a single spinning back kick.
No,
and I'm really good at it. Like I'm going to land it. Most likely going to land it.
Maybe on that. On that return.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get my head into this mentality that I can do what I do in sparring in a fight. I'll never gonna lose if I can do what I can do in sparring.
Man, I love what you keep saying, and you keep referencing the mentality, and it seems like you are.
That's the biggest thing for a fighter.
Yeah, you're very focused. Like I could sense your mental clarity and focus just from speaking with you, and I think that I have a lot of respect for your ability to continually reference it, and not only in this conversation, but I feel like it perpetuates outside of this conversation we're having now, where it's like you're able to realize that the mental can be a hindrance. Like your mental state can hold you back, and being able to like realize that, acknowledge that, that's the first step in getting over that mental hurdle, right? Which then, unlocks that capability, like that endless possibility of your mind. So I feel like you really have that hammered in, and man, I just say, like,
I tattooed it. Yeah, I don't know if you're an anime fan, but Dragon Ball Z was my first anime that I ever watched. Dragon Ball Z, the whole series here. And I got the Majin symbol tattooed on the back of my neck, not for the sake of it being Dragon Ball Z, but because when I did a little video, Master Babidi, he will control your mind, which unlocks your potential. And I thought of it as mastering your mind. So I tattooed the Majin symbol on the back of my neck as a point that I have mastered my mind. I've unlocked my potential, and I'm ready to showcase like my full experience, my power.
All the hard work you put in, man, all the sweat, tears, fucking blood, dedication, the fucking sacrifices. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like, cause it's something that I relate to, from, starting something that I did and chasing something that's a little bit unorthodox, a lot less violent than what you're doing, but in a similarity, doing something that most people probably won't necessarily be able to set out and do. Like what were kind of like the sacrifices that like you've had to made so far to kind of like get to this point? Like if you had to think of any, like have you had to remove yourself socially a lot? Like have you lost friendships or maybe falling out with some people? Like, you know what I mean? Like you really had to just focus on you in a way.
It was everything. And it started from back when I decided to really take it into MMA. I had my best friends, and this is a story I've told maybe only a handful of times.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Back when I was 16, I just got training so much. I loved wrestling. I loved boxing, and doing MMA was a combination of both. So I didn't want to miss my training. So my friends asked me to come hang out one day, and I said no because I had to go train. Well, just turns out that day they got too drunk, too high, whatever they were doing, and invited someone else over, an older kid who had a gun. And they drove around and ended up holding someone hostage, and I was not involved because I went to training. And this is one of the big reasons why I love MMA. It literally saved my life because your friends like, Mike, come over, come have some drinks, come hang out with us, and
drink a beer.
Why would I say no? They're my best friends,
especially when you're from New York, man. I mean, that's what you do sometimes.
So I decided to go and go train. And that training saved my life. They got out of jail 10 years later.
Damn.
26, 27 years old they are.
Damn.
And they're messaging me as just getting out. I was like, yo, that's my life. That would have been my life.
Dude, that's crazy. That's pretty crazy, man. That's
so that's
nuts.
One of the sacrifices. I sacrificed all my best friends growing up.
Yeah.
They've been my best friends since kindergarten, and I sacrificed them to continue doing MMA.
Right.
And continuously, let's go into the job life. I worked job to job, and when I would have a fight coming up, I'd be like, hey, I got to take a week off so I can go cut weight and fight, and then, make it back to work. And like, oh, we can't give you a week off. Best we can do is like 3 days. I'm like, I got to quit. Sorry. And I quit. And I'd go to the next job.
I fucking respect that a lot, man.
Here to work at AT&T. I need a week off. I got to go to California and take this fight. I need 2 weeks off. I'm sorry. I needed 2 weeks off because it was far away. So it was like, oh, we can give you a week. I leave. They're like, a week goes by, like, Mike, I expect to see you on work tomorrow. I'm like, hey, I told you, like I said, I can't make it back.
Cali, bud.
Yeah, it's like I'm in Cali.
Ain't fucking coming
my
in,
flight's scheduled for a week, so I had to quit that. And I made good money at AT&T, so it sucked. Tire Kingdom, my next job, my last job before the UFC. I got the call for Gilbert Burns while I was working. I was like, hey, I need 2 weeks off. I got to cut UFC. I got to do media. I got to make sure I don't get hurt. And, I'll come back to work right after. He's like, best I can do is a week. I was like, hey, I'll see you later.
I'll see you in another life, my dude. That's
I'm about to make in one fight what I make in a year here. So I don't care what you say. I can be back on Monday, 2 weeks from now, or I won't see you again.
That's so incredible, man. Like that dedication and like, not only to understanding that, like, man, I got to make a living, but I also got to make my dreams come true, and it was hard. It was hard back then. Cause that's crazy, man.
I wasn't making money.
Yeah.
I was making 500 and 500. The most I ever made outside of the UFC was 1250 and 1250. So $2,500.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm sacrificing my jobs just so I can take these little fights.
Right. Because it plays into the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Like that gets you eventually that bigger ticket, right? To where you've been at now, where you're trending to, you know what I mean? So it's commendable to see that you were able to notice that in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? Like you were like, you got to have the balance of both. Like, we'll work here, but if they don't give me the time off, see ya, because I got something else I'm also trying to handle at the same time. And I mean, that makes me think, like, just imagine fucking, I'll use the Giants, but like imagine Daniel Jones just like, he's like, hey, I can't come in for my shift this week. I got to go throw some touchdown passes. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think when you hear it from the fighter's mouth just like that, and you know that's the story of I'd have to imagine like majority of fighters when they first get started are probably somewhere in that boat. Because how are you not?
What do you think? There's still fighters out there that are working still.
Right.
Pantoja recently, he said that. he just won the title, and he said he was working Uber Eats 2 weeks before he just won the title of the
Yeah, how can you be a title contender and working at Uber Eats? And no disrespect.
That's what I mean.
I never knock another man or woman's hustle. You hustle, you get yours, and I'm never gonna judge how you get yours. But when you're a title contender and you driving for Uber Eats, something's fucking wrong.
Chilling.
Yeah, something's wrong. So like that is very crazy to see. And this is where I turn this in, because I actually saw this with Cody Durden, who just had a pretty good fucking performance against Jake Hadley. Shit on him, honestly. I actually thought Hadley was gonna beat him.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, he did. He shit on him. I thought Hadley was gonna beat him. He was like, like doing line work or something before, and he made like a post. He's like, bro, I'm not going back to like fucking laying cables, so like, do you think now that where you're at, like having those other jobs and now you're in that UFC and you're seeing this come true, like is that acting now as a little bit of extra motivation to like keep you moving forward, or to you it's like it's not really that deep when it comes to that kind of thing? Like,
no, so I haven't worked a 9 to 5. I haven't worked a job since I got into the UFC. Since I fought Gilbert Burns, I have not done a 9 to 5, nothing like that. So for the freedom that UFC has given me, that is the reason that I keep fighting anyway.
Right.
Everyone knows I hate fighting. Like, I really do.
Really? Yeah, you're not.
I hate waking up with the mentality like, all right, today's the day I gotta fight. I
Yeah,
gotta get locked in the cage.
violence. You know,
Um, and try to literally, I have to kill this guy. Like, I have to choke him to
kill or be
death.
killed.
And the
Right.
only reason he doesn't die is because the ref is gonna be like, hey, he's not breathing anymore. You stop. But in the streets now, like in the jungle, I just kill you and I keep moving. So that's the mentality you got to have. And I just don't have it. I grew up being bullied and I don't like confrontation. It makes me feel all like scratchy and itchy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I know what you're saying with that feeling. You know, I have similar experiences where like, you know, I could relate to that in ways where, you know, like you're fine with confrontation and you're prepared for confrontation, but the confrontation just makes you feel a little bit like, listen, man, I don't fucking like this feeling, so you better back up. Right. You know what I mean? Or like something like that. So that's interesting.
But I keep fighting just so I don't have to go back to a 9 to 5. This freedom is my reason for fighting.
Man, talk about that. That's a great point, dude. And something that I 100% relate to doing what I do, because I could say the same thing. Ever since I started this journey about 6 years ago, I haven't worked a job. You know what I mean? Like, and the freedom that something like this has presented me, it makes me feel the exact same way, man. And it's definitely something that perhaps at times can easily be overlooked in the hustle and bustle of everything going on. But when you really sit back and look at it, like you're saying, that freedom and that ability to have that is definitely, you know, unmatched to some other things, you know.
It's worth the sacrifice.
That's right. That's right.
Everything that comes with
all the annoying bullshit you deal with. Yeah, you know, in the moment you're like, this shit sucks, but then you get that moment of hindsight, and you're like,
I think about it like for me to do everything I do in my daily life, training, I wake up, I go to the gym. I do it every single day. I come home, I have like, you know, a big window of chill, wind down, and then I go do like a run, or I go back to the gym and do it again. And that to me isn't job, because people wake up every day and they go lift weights. It's the same. I do it the same way. It just feels the same to me. So it's not working, but that 15 minutes that I get locked in the cage, that right there, that's the only thing I consider work.
Interesting. I never heard of that perspective before, and I feel like that kind of goes, maybe that goes hand in hand with you feeling how you kind of feel on like fight day, you know what I mean, where you're not so just in the flow of it, but you're kind of understanding that there's a little bit more here than just like the daily flow of things, you know. So like you said, it kind of presents that more like that work thing, which is like kind of funny. Like I could kind of relate to that with streaming. Like, dude, I could fucking get on and play any game, you know what I mean, like do whatever, but then you fire up the stream and it changes it a little bit different, you know, like, all right, this is a little bit more like a work now,
and I feel like that's why people have issues. I mean, I struggle there too. I'm being honest. I struggle with the fact that I can play games all day. I play games every day, period. Right. Is every single day I'm playing games, but there's a part in me that clicks when I have to turn on my camera, and it's like it's different. Yeah.
And I kind of guess you could kind of draw that relation with the UFC, kind of like how you're saying, like training, whatever. We could train all day, but once that door closes, changes the vibe a little bit, you know, changes the feeling a little bit,
just a little bit.
So that, like, listen, I got some more MMA stuff before we transition to some game stuff. But you started mentioning some game stuff, which is, I want to get into that stuff too, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this show. And when I did start this show, as myself, and sometimes me enjoying with this, man, like we were talking about before, we've seen a lot of similarities, you know, between like a streaming and a like a kind of like an MMA career, even though vastly fucking completely different styles, right? But sharing similar ideologies, mentalities, strategies, and that type of stuff. So I love talking about the MMA as much as I love talking about the gaming. So I got a couple gaming questions to ask you, but I wanted to ask you, man, like how did it feel to get a fight of the night, and not only a fight of the night, but a fight of the month? Like, how is that feeling for you? Like coming in, like you've been building up this part in your career, you know, you've had some great fights, you took some L's, but then you came in here, you get fight of the night, fight of the month, man. That had to make you feel like $1 million.
It did, because you know that's your first one, and I knew I was going to be out for a bit. So when I heard I was going to get that, I was like, oh my God, this is like a life changing Yeah, clutch. What made it even better was managers are really understanding and helped me out a lot with everything. So I was just moved. I was just moving too. Right after the fight, I got a place, and the only reason I could get the place was because of the fight. Yeah, I
That's
was
sick.
I was living with a person I didn't want to live with. I just had all my stuff shoved in their closet, and it's just right after I took the fight, I got my own
Hell
place,
yeah.
my own 2 bedroom. So it was
Hell
great.
yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, that's gotta be fucking pretty electric, man. You know, like not only going in there, getting the show, getting the win, but then grabbing that extra bonus as well, man. Like not only like financially, but just like for the confidence builder that we've kind of referenced a few times throughout this conversation as well. Like it helps on both sides there, man. It's patting the wallet and it's patting the confidence. So
Yeah.
seems like a win-win when you pull off like a fight of the night or a performance bonus. Maybe we'll get a little throw one of them spinning heel kicks and grab you another one here and up and coming, you know?
Oh no, we're getting more. I'm getting
That's
more.
right, baby.
My
That's it.
fights are exciting. I've
Bro, I
never
love
had a
watching
single
you
fight
fight.
that isn't
You
exciting.
push the
My fights
gas
are
pedal,
crazy.
man. You push the gas pedal, and I think that, and I'll be really honest. Like I feel like that, like your time of recognition is a very short ways away. You know what I mean? Like I think that you
Yeah.
know it. I think that MMA fans know it. I think that some of us who watch a lot have seen it, and I think that if you just keep on this trajectory, my friend, and the whole world, they're gonna
I
find
feel
out
like
too about that. You know?
I feel like I've been here, but with all this time off because of my injuries, it just give me time to like drill and hone in on skills. And my skill set gets so good. My skill
Yeah.
set right now is
So fucking
amazing.
yeah.
So
That
I'm
gets me hyped
excited
to
for my
see
next
how
fight
excited you're getting
to
about it.
see.
Yeah.
I'm only excited to see how much better I've gotten because my coach Julian Williams at Fusion, the best grappler I've ever trained with. He every time we would go, he would hold me, glue me to the floor, punch me in my face, do dumb stuff like
Yeah.
pretendly smack me around.
Yeah.
This is the most
Push
embarrassing
you.
stuff. Now
Now you
he's
smacking
on
him.
the defense. Yeah, he's on defensive the entire round. So
Hell yeah.
man,
Hell
I
yeah.
know I've gotten better.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's making me excited because, like I said, I can sense your confidence here through the fucking computer
Grew.
screen. You know what I mean? And
It grew.
I see it, I feel it, and I'm getting fucking excited for the return, man. How's the rotator cuff doing? You feeling good? Everything's
Uh
been getting
I
better.
thought I would already be
Back.
preparing for a fight, but I had it looked at again, and they said another 2 months.
Okay.
And the rotator cuff was 4 to 6. It's been 2 months already,
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
said give it another 2 months.
Right.
But I also have stem cells and PRP scheduled for next week.
Okay.
Down in Miami, so I'm going to
Okay.
drive down there, and hopefully that'll speed up the recovery, maybe like a month or so.
Okay. Is there a fight or a card that in the coming months that let's say if it says 2 months, that's October.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you lining up
I would.
potentially
I
in
want Madison
December?
Square Garden.
Oh, you want to come back in November in the Garden?
I would love to. I mean, I'm from New York,
That's
and
what
I've
I'm
never
saying.
done any kind of activity in New York.
Yeah, that's like, dude, that's like the Mecca, man. When you come from New York, like you said,
Yeah.
being on the Garden floor. I mean, what the fuck? You can't really,
That's
you can't beat
like
that.
a statement. That's a statement.
I know that's why those Long Island boys
Even though
like
I started
on those
fighting in
cards.
New York, I never fought in New York. All my fights, I had to drive into.
Oh yeah, because MMA back
like
then wasn't.
Vermont.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't legalized
New
in New York
Hampshire,
back
Vermont,
then,
New Jersey.
or like fucking Connecticut or something, right? Like some shit like that. I know they do a lot in Connecticut with like,
I think Connecticut.
shit, what's that casino
I
called?
feel
It's
like
gonna
most of
escape
them
me.
were in Vermont.
Vermont, okay, yeah, because I think when did New York only made MMA legal like in like what, like 2014 or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
it was
it hasn't
a
even been
long
10 years
time
yet. I
later.
don't think so. I know
No,
that
I
they were
didn't live in
slacking
New York.
on
I
that.
left.
That'd be damn fuck. If you get on that November card, I know Moicano's trying to get on that November card. I'm gonna have to start booking arrangements. I have to get out there and see the boys just throw it down.
That's a good place.
Yeah, man. And the magical
It'd be a
fucking
good, it'd be a
garden.
good one.
Hell yeah. Anybody you'd like to particularly see in your return, or you just, I mean, based on your confidence and your preparation, I'm feeling that Mike Davis is game and ready for whoever the UFC
So the
is
the
giving
thing that I've done in my entire career is you'll send me a name and I just don't even look at it. Be like, yep, whoever that is, let's
Sign the
do it.
line.
And I do it all the time.
That's a
I've
good. I like
never
it.
cared who I fought.
I like it.
And I never prepped for a fight. I prep myself to be ready for anything.
Mm.
I don't like to look at you and be like, okay, this
He
guy throws
wrestles.
this kick
Right,
over and over.
right,
This guy
right.
wrestles over and over. I just show up. Whatever you try to do, I'm gonna negate because my skill set is better than yours.
I like that. I like that. You really like that's an interesting strategy, and I do like that because I think that it could probably help you from not hyper focusing on something that a fighter might adjust. Like, maybe a fighter knows that, like, if
It
I throw this
hurts
all
your
the
head a
time,
lot.
right, and then you start second guessing yourself.
Because what are you going to do? You're going to look up your opponent and you're looking for like highlights and fights that he's had. So what you're going to see is him beating the shit out of everybody. So then now in your head, you're like, oh shit, this man's tough. This man's strong. This man doesn't get tired. So it's going to really eat at you. That's
Right,
why I don't like to do. If I'm going to look at someone's fights, I'm going to have my team do it.
right.
My
Have the
coaches will look at
coaches.
them. They'll be like, hey, so
Yeah.
I want you to work. I want you to work on this. And I was like, oh, okay, he does this a little bit, so we're just gonna make sure, just in case it happens, you know what to do. And I'm like, all right, that's perfect. That's what we did with Bitcheslaw.
I like that. I like that. That's really good because at first, I won't lie, when you first said that, I think in the back of my mind, I said, I could see how that could help, but I could also see how that could result in slight under preparation. But that's when you loop in the coaches, right?
Yeah. The
They
coaches
they
do the
have
work.
that game plan. They study the tape, they study the film, and then they're going to teach you subconsciously how to be ready for that through
Exactly.
what they're teaching you to do in your
Exactly.
training process. Okay, now
Because
it's all,
I want to think less about the fight than anything.
you want to be flow, you want to be natural, you just
Yeah,
want to step in there and
I
go.
want to show up to that fight and
Be
treat
water.
it like I'm sparring match.
Right, right. I like that. And I think that that's where the hit is of like having good coaches. Which is, I think, is another topic that we could even dive into in the MMA world if we had some more time here today and go on that route, because I've heard some crazy stories about some people not even having coaches. Like apparently Fiziev doesn't have a coach, nor does Piotr Yan. They have a manager from Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah. I know him.
So they don't even have an actual like coach, and I'm sure they have people that help them prepare. But I wonder if like that's what you see with something like the Fiziev versus Gaethje fight. Like he might have needed a coach or something to help him make some adjustments. So I don't know if maybe like there's some fighters that are struggling with having like a good coach in their corner, but I feel like we've seen that importance emerge over the past few years in the UFC specifically. Like some gyms and
I
some
think a
coaches,
coach is important.
they've been making fighters' stock just go through the roof. I mean, I definitely look at like Longo MMA and like what's his name, Matt Serra out there. Those guys are doing some great stuff. It seems like with their fighters, they're having a lot of success with anybody who's coming out of there. What's the other one? Where Strickland trains that guy Eric. I forget his last name. Their coach too. But anyways, long story short, some of these coaches
In Vegas.
Yes, in Vegas. That's right. Some of these coaches have seemed to really have started to make a big difference with some of these fighters. So I love to see that you lean into the coaches for the knowledge, and you know that they're going to direct you into the areas to be prepared without over psyching yourself or over focusing on something that
You should trust in your coaches, but they also had to be there for your career. If they're there for the paycheck, then you can kind of see it.
Right,
But
right.
you find that place, that people that want you to be number one in the world, and it'll grow back on them. So
How long
those are
have
the
you
people.
been?
That's Julian.
I was going to say, how long have you been now currently with your current gym and coach
Well, I've been here back and forth.
over the years?
I've trained here a while, years back, maybe 7 years ago. I used to train at Fusion. And when I went to Pete's, it was kind of like a back and forth. I was training between them. Pete's the boxer, the boxing coach. But when I moved to South Florida, I figured that was the gym I needed. That's the gym that, I'm not doing anything else. This gym has everything I need. False. I love American Top Team. Really good training, really good coaches, really everyone there has the same goal. So we're all pushing each other to the absolute limit. But if you're not, Dustin Poirier, Masvidal, those top guys, where when they fight, a paycheck of 20,
Right,
50K gets given to the gym. Yeah. And my little $2,000, they don't care. So
I see what you're saying.
I'm second place all the time.
It's become more
And
of a pyramid. style.
Yeah. And I love the, like I said, I
Yeah.
love the gym, and there's nothing bad. We left on good ties, and I would
Right.
love to go back. I'd love to train there again. It's just right now, right here, I'm learning too much,
Right.
and I'm being treated like I'm at the top.
And that's got to make you feel fucking good, buddy.
It does.
It
It
does.
does.
Yeah. And and when you feel good, you perform good.
Exactly.
And it's all part of the system. And I think that anybody with a clear thought process, right, like should be able to see that and respect that. And top team, like you said, they're huge. I mean, they also have a lot of locations too now, right? Like they've kind of gone that route of like becoming like a pretty
It's the
household
branches,
name, right? Yeah.
but the headquarters is the main
The
place,
main
which
place.
is in
Is that
South Florida.
Is that where you met Morcano? Was that top
Yeah,
team, or
yeah.
did you know Morcano from like a different
Yep. No,
thing?
that's
Cool.
where I met him.
Cool. Yo, I just want to highlight something in chat really quick. I think you'll get a fucking kick out of this, my friend. So I have a longtime viewer who is from the upstate New York, actually pretty close to where you're from, Vermont area. He says in chat right now, I remember seeing Mike fight in the Burlington Brawl in VT probably over 10 years ago, and he destroyed the dude. That's pretty fucking, man. What a
That's
small
crazy.
fucking world, bro.
10 years.
We hopped on a fucking call here today to do a little talk show with Mike Davis, and somebody who's been watching the stream for over 3 years is like, dude, I fucking watched him beat some dude's ass in Vermont 10 years ago. You gotta love that,
That's
man.
crazy.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Burlington Brawl.
Shout out to the real bad dad.
I fought Josh Hunt. I remember the name too.
Josh Hunt. Oh man, dude, your memory doesn't
Josh
escape
Hunt,
you, Mike.
yeah.
For somebody,
No, my
listen,
memory is like the number one thing.
there we go. That's how I love to see that, man. That's freaking awesome. Josh Hunt slept him, buddy. Well, bad dad. Make sure you tune into his return fight because he's coming back soon and he's ready to let it go. Man, so yeah, that's really awesome to hear about that with everything with the gym, and I think that's important. And then, like you said, you get down the line, you keep on this trajectory, maybe you return to like a different gym, like Top Team or something like that again, and it all comes like in unison. But it seems
I'm
like you
actually
got a pretty
thinking
good
about leaving Florida, going to Vegas. So I might train with Strickland
those
over at
guys.
Extreme Couture.
Right. What's his name's like Eric.
I don't know the coaches at all.
His name's Eric something.
I've never even been at Extreme Couture before. I went to Syndicate once. It was my best friend trains out there.
Okay.
But he also just moved over to Extreme Couture, so
Who
that'd be the next place I stop at.
is he like up and coming? Is he in the UFC already? Your
He's
friend?
a Sherrard Blackledge. He fought in the Contender Series twice, lost once, won once.
Okay, sweet.
I feel like
put him on my radar.
He wins one fight outside right now, and the UFC would call him. But
Oh shit, he
he's having
lost
issues
to Lutz, huh? I know to actually man, Lutz has,
he's having an issue getting a fight right now. So
okay. Yeah, Lutz hasn't had such a good UFC career since that debut. It's been a tough one for him. I'm gonna keep your buddy on my list too. I'll keep an eye out. I like to keep my eyes on people coming into the in the game and up in the game. So I'm gonna put that down. Sharp Blackledge. I'll keep my eye on him. But that's pretty cool, man. Exciting. Here, get ready to maybe take a move around and head out to Vegas. Is it just
I have one more year
some fresh stuff in the area, or you just getting sick of Florida, like what, or just
I'm
change your pace?
Sick. I'm a little sick of Florida. I've been here for 10 years. I lived in New York for 20 years. I'm 30. I want to try somewhere else. I don't want to stay in one spot for this long.
I like that.
However, I would like to come back and train here and there, but I do want to experience the world.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I like that. That's like kind of something I did. New York, 20 years. Fucking my story is my fiance now of 6 years. We were together for 6 months. I was like, yo, I got $5,000. And we're gonna move to fucking North Carolina, and I'm gonna become a fucking streamer and like compete in gaming. Like that was my thing back then. Before I transitioned into streaming, I was more of a competitor in gaming. And she was like, all right, let's fucking do it. So we moved to Raleigh. 6 years later, here we are. It's been great. Yeah, we've been from so where I'm from, you might know it. You might know this town more than my specific town, but Middletown, New York. I don't know if you heard of it, like Newburgh, a little bit more south of Albany there. I got to tell you, man, I was fucking in your neck of the woods for my fiance's.
South, yeah, I'm from Casco.
Right,
well,
yeah.
South Caro.
That's what I was going to say. I was in your neck of the woods, like right in your town a couple weeks back for a family reunion. Bro, I didn't know that you guys got fucking a mini Ireland up there. I was in a little bit past Cairo at like this, I forget the name of like the town, but we stayed in this like Irish lodge, dude, and everything in this town was Irish. They call it like Little Ireland up there. Are you familiar with this area, or am I just?
No.
I would have to figure out the here. Let me see if I can get the name for you real quick. And then maybe you'll know the town, but dude, everything was Irish. Every store was Cornwallville is what it was called.
Cornwall. I do know that one.
I think it's a little bit past
I
East
do
Durham. And
Yeah.
dude, everything was like Irish gift shop, Irish bar, Irish hotel, Irish.
I do know where that is.
And I said, fucking, I lived in New York for 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
And I had no fucking idea this was here.
East Durham.
It was funny.
That's
up
right.
there,
I
man.
went to school in East Durham.
Beautiful area. I mean, man, I was swimming in
Yeah,
fucking
that's
waterfalls and
nice.
shit. Like, I'm down in the Hudson Valley,
nice.
so similar to where you are. Not quite as big as like the Catskills or the Adirondacks, but we were jumping in reservoirs and doing that type of shit growing up too, right? So, yeah, no,
Yeah.
beautiful area. But it was funny when I was up there. I feel like I stepped in a fucking time machine, man. All right, I got one quick question to wrap it up with the MMA section. Then I want to ask you some gaming stuff. Is like,
Yeah,
you got a favorite fighter in the MMA, or like a favorite? I'm gonna do like favorite fighter and favorite fight if you have them. If not, no pressure.
I would say favorite fight would probably be my fight against Mason Jones. I even like the fight against Sadiq. Those two really back-to-back type fights.
Right.
But of mine, fight to watch, not necessarily.
Okay.
I don't remember fights. I just let them fade out.
You watch a lot of fights?
Yeah. Not really.
Nah?
No.
Okay.
No. I would have a favorite fighter. I would say I have a couple. I like Dustin Poirier as a person and, as a fighter.
Bro.
He was probably the first well-known person I've trained with when I moved to Florida,
Right.
aside from the Patricky brothers. I like Zabit. I don't know why he stopped fighting, but
Right. That
like
one will haunt
I
us
love
fans for a
his-
long time.
that's crazy. He's so good. And Yair, that fight that they were supposed to have probably would have been my favorite fight.
Those two styles together would have just been
Yeah.
fucking nuts, honestly.
I don't even know. I could not tell
Lots
you
of
who would win that
kicks,
fight.
lots of spins, lots of crazy shit going on there. That's for sure.
I would say Zabit wins that fight, though.
I would.
I would probably say he wins that fight. Yair has technique, skill, speed, all that. But when it comes to the grappling, Zabit is on another level.
Right. And then that mixture with his like high skill set of striking
Exactly.
too is such a dangerous blend of like a fighter to go against like that. It's very, very
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That would be actually a sick
That's
one.
champion material. I don't know why he stopped.
I actually went down like a Zabit like social media wormhole the other day, kind of trying to
I
figure
saw
out
he
the
got his
same
like
shit.
doctorate.
Yeah,
he got
he's
his
been-
doctorate.
Yeah, he seems to be like doing a lot of shit. He seems to be hanging out with a lot of important people and like getting shit done. And like, I still see him post like training videos, but he keeps saying, "Dude, I'm not coming back." I think the last thing I read is he was just mad he didn't get a title shot after winning whatever it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row in the UFC.
All he needed was like one more.
One more, I know. He's kind of like that picture of the guy who walked away from mining the wall with all the diamonds.
diamond,
right
yeah,
on
I
the
was
other
just
side.
thinking about
He
that.
decided to turn around and go back. He's fuck this place, But if he just did one more little, fight there, he probably would have been on his way to the strap. And that would be interesting to see what would have like changed in the featherweight division if he was there as Volk came in and all. Right, like there's a lot of different outcomes there. But maybe we'll see him come back one day. I wonder if we ever will, though. He seems to be chilling, kind of like you said. All right,
I
so
think he's chilling.
transition a little bit. So we talked a lot about MMA. We've gotten a little bit of the backstory of Mike here for everybody tuning in. Man, it's been a great combo so far. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, shout out to Mike. Guys, don't forget to go show Mike some love on his pages. Kicking Twitch, Mike Davis UFC. I got it tagged in the title on Twitch. You could click on that real quick and go check him out. Mike, are you just Mike Davis on like Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff too, like your normal name?
So for everything social media based is Mike Davis MMA.
Okay.
And then all my streaming content is Mike Davis UFC.
Sweet. Oh, that's right. I have one more question before we switch to how you got into the gaming and the streaming stuff. How'd you get the nickname Beast Boy? Is it just because you're a fucking animal in there and just beating people up? Or
No, it was
is it a funny story?
it was when I was 16. It was
Okay,
when I was
cool,
up,
cool.
training. While we were doing our sessions for training. Oh, my bad, I froze you.
Oh, no.
When we were doing my sessions for training, I would be getting ready for a fight, and they would be like, all right, this guy's a boxer. We're going to put you with a boxer. This guy's a wrestler. We're going to put you with a wrestler. This guy does grappling. Here's a grappler. This guy's just a good MMA fighter. And everyone they put in front of me, I would just adapt to how they fight and beat them.
Nice.
So one of the guy, Eric, whatever his last name, I forget. Jenks, maybe. That sounds right. He is like, this kid's like Beast Boy.
Yeah.
Like, you throw him in the ocean, he's gonna turn into a fish. You put him in the jungle, he's a gorilla. So
Hell yeah.
like,
That's good. I like that story.
I just kept it.
Nice. I like that. That's like, I can relate to that so much because that's like me. Everybody where I come from, they call me fucking Ham. So that's how I got the Hambino with like the online nickname, same kind of thing. Just took like a childhood nickname that stuck, from growing up and then turned it into a little bit of branding. So I could definitely relate to that style, man. It's what it is, like you didn't force it. It was already there for you, and then you chose the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sometimes some of these names are fucking, I see some names, I'm just like, what the heck? Like I always wonder how
people
sometimes
ask me all the time if I'm going to change it. They asked me to change it to like Beast Man or just go with the Beast. And I was like, that doesn't sound good at all. The only thing that sounds good that I would switch to is Majin. You know how they put the name first, so it'd be Majin Mike Davis.
Oh yeah. That's like who did I just watch? It's like Davy Grant, I think, has that Dangerous Davy Grant they call him or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah, that is kind of cool sometimes how they started off with the name. I do think that's cool as well. So
now I'm thinking. I've been thinking because I want to have two separate lives, the streaming life and then the MMA life. So I could do Beast Boy, because it's already been made, my MMA life, and do Majin Mike Gaming or something like that.
Oh, that's got a good name. That's got a good ring to it. Singing a little some sort of MM logo for some nice merch down the line. I like that. I like that, Mike. That's clean.
I got the BB and I got the MM.
I like that.
So I'm gonna do that.
That's fire. That's good shit. Okay, so yeah, let's get right into that part. We started there before. I just wanted to ask that last question. Dude, when did you start like gaming? So we'll talk about the streaming a little bit, but like when did you start playing games? Was it a childhood thing? Was it something that you got later on? Like was there a first game
that's a big one
drew you to the game? Talk to me.
All right. So I started gaming as a little kid.
Sure.
And I remember Game Boy, Atari. But I started gaming mainly because it was the only place that I had friends. It sounds like a sob story. I don't have friends. I didn't have friends growing up. Everybody would pick on me. I was small. I was black. So, growing up in a little white
upstate New York fucking town.
Yeah, upstate New York country area. Being the a black kid is not very friendly. So I would have my friends that I met playing video games, and every day after school, signing on to that video game was like saving my life because I didn't know what else to do with myself.
I like that.
So,
and do you now
I stuck with it.
You still talk to anybody that you played games with a long time, or did you, or some of this might be a little bit too far in the past to think, because that's something that usually comes up a lot in gaming.
Maybe like one or two.
Cool.
A couple of them are on my Facebook. I mean, Facebook was coming out around that time. Yeah, it was the thing then. So they're still on my Facebook, and I have seen their names pop up on some of my recent stuff. So
yeah, I bet you're like, holy shit,
I've
dude.
had conversations.
I fucking used to play games with this guy. They're like watching you fight. They're like, you wouldn't believe it. We used to fucking play fucking Tony Hawk together or whatever it was.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool, man. I like that story. So it's kind of like your outlet. And way to connect with some people.
Gaming saved my life. I feel like without gaming, I would have gotten to a point of just like major depression.
I see what you're saying. Being with the situation that you were in your youth and not having any sort of outlet or way to release that, that's what gaming was for you. You come home and you're able to tap in, socialize, feel a little bit better
Exactly.
and let go
Feel
of
like I
that
have
negative
people
energy.
in my life.
Right.
Yep. And then you asked what game
Yeah.
got me
Okay.
into.
What was
So
the one?
the game that specifically I recall bringing me like deep into the gaming world was Gears of War,
There you go.
all the way up into the Xbox.
Classic title right there.
That was a
That's what
game
you
like
want to hear.
I played all the way through. That game put me in.
Those are the ones back in the day, man, making the game battles and the MLG and all the, you know, I remember doing that with like some of the Gears too. Try like that was at like the start of when gaming really started to get fucking hype. I feel like, you know, people were really
That's when
starting
it
to
took
get
off.
into it.
Halo
Yeah.
and Gears of War.
Yep. That's like the peak nostalgia of the console gaming era, like back then, you know, and then you start sprinkling in those early Call of Duties too, you know, with like the all those like earlier their titles, man, and that was a great time to be gaming. So you still play on console?
Really was.
You're a PC now?
No. So I got rid of
I was
all my
gonna say
consoles
PC or
after
console.
I met Viral. Viral Tech was the people, or they're the people that
That's your PC sponsor, right? Oh, I remember correct.
Exactly. So once I got this PC, I was like, dang, this thing blowing everything out of the water. I don't even need my console. So
Shit looks
I
pretty
sold
crazy,
them all.
right? Yeah, nice. What did you?
The only console I have is a Quest. I still have an Oculus.
An Oculus? Okay, that's a VR, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
VR.
You
But
use it a lot?
plugs into my
Your
PC. Yeah, dude.
You like it? I
do
haven't
use
gotten on the VR yet, but I've heard they're pretty fucking cool.
It takes a while to get used to. That like a long while. You get
Little
nauseous
motion-
a little
I was gonna
bit
say, you get a
using
little
it,
motion sick.
but it is fun. It is fun. You just have to have people to play with or good games to play.
Right.
It's fun.
That's like the VR thing. I think in like 10 years when they make more games to support like that VR, that
All
it'll
that
probably
meta,
be pretty
meta
fucking
quest
crazy.
stuff, metaverse.
I like expect one day to see people like, you ever see Ready Player One? That
That's
movie.
that's exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love that life.
Bro, I feel like one day you're gonna see motherfuckers like if I'm playing a shooting game, I'm gonna be running on a treadmill like on the battlefield in a VR suit, like having to actually aim and shoot. So good thing I got a little firearms
that.
practice in my real life. So maybe I'll when the VR gaming comes, I could still be a competitor, right?
No, but they're already working towards that. You know how you play video games, and in the video game you collect money and
Right.
jewels and gems, and you use it for real life.
Right.
You know, Grand Theft Auto 6 is like the first game that's going to talk about doing that.
Yeah,
So
that's
I feel
gonna be a
like
sick
little
release.
by little we're getting there.
It's I was gonna say what is like your normal rotation right now? I know you said that you game pretty daily. I know you're not always necessarily gaming while streaming. Like what are you playing on a daily basis? And would you play something different if you were streaming, or would you just stream what you're currently playing?
All right, so I game literally every day, every single day. The only thing is I don't press that stream button. I don't know why in my head I can't get it to click. I need to press the stream button. I just need to stream. I play everything. I play Call of Duty too much. So
Warzone?
And I won't pay for Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty that much. But Warzone is fun.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I've been playing Remnant.
Right.
I just re-downloaded Cyberpunk.
Okay.
And I've been playing Cyberpunk. What's this other game here? Spider-Man. I didn't play the second one, so I'm halfway through it now. These are just games.
It sounds like you like a lot of
Remnant
like
2 is fun.
cool single player games or like co-op style of games. That's like your
Co-op.
favorite kind of genre.
Co-op, yeah, for sure. Co-op games with a story, something with an objective that I can lean towards. I like playing DayZ games as such.
It's just like a fun
but
get lost game.
It's aimless, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a game I really feel does well for streaming or my
True.
brain, just because I don't know what am I doing? Like I'm just running in a circle.
Yeah, no.
A zombie, kill the zombie, find a gun, kill the zombie, find a gun. And it's just repetitive.
Yeah, or like DayZ, find the gun, don't find a bullet. So you're just walking around with a fucking gun and you can't use it.
Long time.
No,
takes
you're
a
right.
long time.
That's more of
Do
like a
anything or
niche
go
game. Like
anywhere.
people definitely stream DayZ, but like you said, they've probably been doing it for a while, or it's something that's been like pretty part of them for a
Exactly.
bit. That's definitely one of more of those games where like you hop on, you know, just have that open style and just fucking run around or do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say any like multiplayer.
I did just sign with Millions.
I saw that.
Millions is yeah. So I'm going to be their test subject for gaming on Millions.
Sick.
And you know, athletes and
Really do a lot of
fans can
watch-alongs there.
pay the games. Yeah. I do one this weekend for the UFC 292. But next month I'll be doing even like a Wednesday and a Friday where people can, come and join me in games. And I'm thinking like Plasmophobia. You ever play Plasmophobia?
Yeah. Scary
or
ass
Demonologist?
Scary
Those are fun games.
Yeah.
Right? Those would
Make
be
you
fun to
jump.
play with my fans, and I think that's cool. Those are games I like to play and stream.
Yeah, game that's a good point. Like finding games that you could play a lot with like multiple people and have some fun like that. That's why everybody loved that game Fall Guys that came out about like 2 years ago. Remember that era?
Yeah. Dang, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a great one to play too with the group. So
Fall Guys.
And I think with that son of a gun, you could pack in like 40 goddamn people. So if you get a packed house over there, that's always a good one to go to too. That's like the modern day Mario Party.
Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
out.
offer that up to them.
Yeah. But so that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. So Millions now is looking like, because I know they started really with like the sports and the watch-alongs, but now it seems like they're looking
pretty
to
much all
with,
it is.
with gaming a little bit, huh?
They only do that because of the number. I bring in big numbers when I stream. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
I was on TikTok just randomly chatting about the last one, UFC 291, and I had 1,200 people watching.
Hell yeah,
just talking and chatting. So they were like, "This is crazy." So then I was like, "Yeah, game too." And then they watched my gaming stuff, and they're like, "We want to try and get you to game on here." But this is like the first big thing that I can do that's going to pay me for streaming. I don't really like to stream with the mentality that I'm getting paid for it. I like talking to people. I like hanging out with people. And, again, I grew up with no friends. So having friends, having people to talk to is like the best thing in the world. I don't care about the money. Money comes, I fight, I make money. I don't need money from streaming. But this is what I want to do now. I want to be a professional fighter, and then I want to take it into the next level, the next step for streaming.
I like that a lot, dude. What you ever think about, like, obviously doing some more stuff like this? And I know that you've said that you've done some interviews and stuff, but have you ever thought about starting like your own kind of like
podcast
talk show channel, or just like like more of like a conversational stream? Oh, you do have one. Plug that shit.
It's not built.
That's all right. I want to know.
It's building with content. It's building with content from Millions, but then it's called From Cage to Mike, and it's Mike. It's a play on words.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna try. Not yet. I'm gonna bring in some people, maybe some losers from fights, and be like, "Hey, this is who you fought. This is what happened. I'm a fighter myself. I know what it feels like. Talk to me about it. Tell me what you could have done better. Tell me what you're gonna change in your life, in your game plans. What are you gonna do going forward? That kind of stuff."
Man, that's cool. And that's different, right? I can't really think of many shows with that perspective.
It's a fighter to a fighter. Mm-hmm. I've lost fights. I know what it feels like.
You can relate.
Lost. So, yeah, I can relate. Maybe I'll even bring in some 55ers and talk some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, get that the little shit talk going on. Well, that'd be hilarious. I was gonna ask you what it was like, what you liked the most about streaming, or like kind of what got you into what you love about it. But you really just answered that for us. There is that you're just you like to socialize.
I just like talking to people.
Like to connect with people. You like to talk, whether it be about common interests or just random stuff.
Look, going down to earth approach and socializing is fun and all. Yeah. I've definitely become a homebody.
Oh yeah,
the heat. It's crazy. It's getting hotter and hotter. Yeah. I don't want to go outside that much. And I know everybody else does. So chilling, I get to chill in here and talk to the whole world. It's fine. It's perfect. I'll stay here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, that's it, man.
Whenever I leave my house,
studio, right? Like you got.
Exactly. Yeah. And whenever I leave my house, I feel like I'm anticipating the point where I can go back. So I'm just like, I'm just going to stay inside and stream. Man, that sounds fun to me.
I feel pretty similar now. Maybe it's because we're like 31 now, or you're about to be 31.
I think so too.
We're starting to trend in that trajectory, but that has kind of been my mantra for the past couple years as well.
I like going out. I like to explore. And if I meet some people online, I just did this. Viral Tech held their ViralCon for 2023, and the people I met on streams, I was like, "Hey, take a second off. Let's all meet in Ohio. And a whole group of people met in Ohio. We
That's
had
crazy,
a great
right?
time.
It's nuts when you meet some of the people from online too, like that. I've had the
Fun.
pleasure of being able to do that myself a few times, and some meet and greets and some stuff like that. And really, man, talk about a trippy experience when, like, you're like, dude, we all hang out online, and now you actually came to like see me in person. Like, what the hell? Like, that's pretty fucking, it's pretty nuts. So I could definitely attest to that as well. Relate there. That's a pretty special thing when you take them online friends and
For sure.
or personalities and bring them into person together like that. What all right, spin this a little bit. What has surprised you the most when it comes to streaming slash like gaming or this whole thing? Like, is there anything that you didn't expect to feel or understand or, you know, experience, and then when you started doing a little bit, you started like being like, damn, like this, you know, I got to talk more than I thought I had to, or this is a little bit trickier than I thought it was, or was there something that kind of like perpetuated to you or stuck out to you?
Well, this viral PC is the first PC I've ever really had.
Okay.
So a lot of streaming took me to the point where I need to understand what I'm doing with a computer, how I'm using my computer, how to set up overlays, how to, you know, get all the videos working properly.
It gets
Then,
deep.
yeah, it does. And that's the stuff that took me the longest to really understand.
So like the back end setup stuff, which, man,
Yeah.
still hard. Like, I'm pretty good now.
It
I could
is
break
still
it all
hard.
down, get it going pretty quickly, but there even still sometimes when like I'm messing things around, I'm like, what the hell is happening, man? You know, like sometimes these damn computers as well, they don't make it easier for you. They could be pretty annoying.
For sure. I had so
The
many
tech
issues.
man. Audio's a son of a bitch. If there's one that is always a problem, audio. No matter what it is.
I talked to someone who just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And he said the number one thing I would focus on for a stream is audio.
Mm-hmm.
He said your camera can look blurry, it could be pretty bad. But if I get the general concept of you, it doesn't matter. What I need to do is hear you, because if I hear crackling and static and this and that,
clicks in the background,
I'm just not gonna listen.
Yeah. I'm very much like that as
sense.
well. I'll go to stream and like they're mashing on the keyboard too hard and it just I'm like, I can't fucking focus. I can't focus.
And you can't stay. I just can't watch, man.
That reminds me of a hilarious fucking story with John Anik. I don't know if you saw the clip, but John Anik has a podcast, and he had Ray Longo on from MMA, Longo MMA in Long Island, and they were interviewing him. Bro, whoever the fuck set up Ray's computer, man, they got to get a new tech guy out there. Listen, I'll come out and help you guys out free of charge because I'm a fan of MMA. I like Steamroll. I like Billy Q. I'll come stop by and help you guys set you up. Just, you know, give me a call. But that being said, bro, Ray's mic every 2 seconds popping, crackling, whatever. John Anik. John, you gotta have to look it up and watch it because it's fucking hilarious. John Anik.
Ray Longo on the UFC with John Anik.
Yeah, he literally was like, "Can you fix your fucking microphone? I can't fucking concentrate. It's popping every 2 seconds." And Longo, he's an older guy. He has no fucking idea what's happening. He's looking at the thing like, "What do you mean, John?" But John Anik just lost it. So as soon as he said that,
is it like Kenny Florian too?
Yeah, there was three of them.
This is 2 days ago. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna watch it.
It was so funny, man. It was so funny. But Anik, I've never even heard him like lose his cool like that. But he was like, "Can you fucking fix the mic?" Like, it was great. So I can attest to what your friend told you as well. Good mic quality is definitely up there
for sure.
And there's a lot of that technical shit that you don't realize is like in it, but then when you start learning it, you find out you're like, that's deep, man. You could pretty much.
So I'm gonna stay on the mic real quick. What mic do you use?
So I use a Rode. It's called the NT1A. Yeah, these mics are very popular with musicians. So like a lot of music personalities.
I feel like I see a lot of people using.
Yeah, record on this mic.
With what is it? The XLR, the Go XLR.
So I'm actually old school, man. I'm still utilizing a just like a normal non-digital mixer. So everything goes through a mixer that I have over here, so I don't actually have to route it through like a program or anything, and I just feed it all through like cable.
Man,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got a mixer here, one cable mic to the stream PC, which I have on my left because I use a 2 PC setup, and then I have one cable that goes to my right to make the mic dual purpose. So the only thing is like I use the buds for the streaming PC or like the over ears for when I'm gaming, so I have to switch the headsets, but the mic is dual operation like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I took into after my fight, in October. I went through every mic that you could possibly get your hands on. I tried every single one. I put them all up, hooked them all up. Go XLR,
I know. I was
Roadcaster,
gonna remember you say that about the
spending like
roadcaster.
five something thousand
Yeah,
dollars
that shit gets
on
expensive,
just
bud.
random stuff. On just random. I was like, this cloud filter for the Shure.
Right.
And I was like, everything. This microphone is super simple, and I love it.
Oh, the Shures are great. And the one thing I hate about my microphone that I wish
This
it had.
isn't a Shure. It looks like one.
Oh,
looks
it
like
isn't a Shure?
It's a Beacon.
Beacon. You have to send me that
Yeah,
one. I might
Beacon.
have to check that
Yeah,
out.
it's a
I'm always
Beacon.
a sucker for
It's a
off the
USB.
deal,
It's
yeah.
not even an XLR. It's just a USB-C microphone.
No
and
way.
It sounds
You sound great.
yeah.
You sound as good
It's
as I
amazing.
do, I feel like. So maybe I need to ditch this shit and simplify. I feel like tech has gone back that way. Like a couple years ago, a little bit more
Oh, yeah.
complicated, but now they're simplifying shit again. You know, you could just buy a quick, easy mic, boink, plug that sucker in. Sounds great. I don't got to be over here like
Yes.
like Harry Houdini trying to put everything together and make magic work, you know?
I
Just
feel like that's what I
plug
was
and
having
play.
issues with
Yeah.
with the other microphones. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's always something I had to adjust. The voltage was too much, and it was getting static here, and it's too much.
The overcomplications, you know?
Yeah.
100%. What's one thing you would say that this is a question I always ask when I do these types of things. What would be one thing that you say streaming and like MMA, like streaming and gaming, or MMA and fighting? What are they like? One thing they have in common that you've noticed? Like, is there like a maybe like a certain trait that you know you'd feel is like, or like a thought, or you know, have you had an experience where you're like, oh, I felt this way when I was training, or felt this way when I was training, or for you, is it pretty different?
I would say one thing I see that falls into place for both is like preparation.
Yeah.
Preparation and consistency.
Yeah,
Like for consistency
like
for
that.
MMA, I gotta show up. I gotta,
Right.
I gotta go through the
motion.
numbers. I gotta make sure everything is proper. I'm feeling good. Take this, take that. So same thing for streaming.
Nice. No, yeah, I like
For
that.
sure.
Consistency is
Same thing for
key, man. That I think that's the biggest thing. And it kind of talking about like what you're talking about is like when you get into that flow state of just consistently hitting the stream button. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I don't game unless I'm live. I mean, maybe it's
Really?
because I do that for 5 years.
Damn, man, it's
you know
backwards.
what I mean?
Damn,
So
I gotta get-
I've done it 5-6 years now. So like I won't even be at my PC playing any games unless I'm live. So for me, it's like it's become like probably just like you have when that octagon door closes. I mean, you know what to
Yeah.
do. You know what I mean? So like for me, I've been doing
Yep,
so
yep.
long. Like for me, when I sit in this chair, that button gets pushed, and then we roll with it and see what happens. So
All right.
it's funny to see that perspective
I gotta
switch
take some notes.
from
Taking
like
notes.
that, you know, and really how that was for me is because like when I first started, I didn't really have much of a chance. It was like I either gonna make this happen or I'm gonna go back to doing a job I don't want to do. So the consistency kind of just got ingrained in me early because it was like I don't fucking want to move back
Okay.
to New York, you know.
right.
So
I'm gonna think of it. I'm gonna think of it like that, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and go forward from
yeah,
there.
give it. It's like just give it like 10 days or like of doing it consistently, and then like I'm sure your mentality.
I feel like I
will
see a
take
lot
over.
of streamers that are struggling with their consistency or schedule do that 1 month challenge or 30-day challenge
yeah.
where they stream
Every
once a
day.
day, every day
Yep.
for 30 days. Yeah.
Yep. And then after that 30
Maybe I'll try
days,
that.
they're feeling a little bit different. Yeah. And even if you start small and just try for like 7 days or 5 days, whatever, you know,
Okay.
just start it with that. I bet you, based on our conversation,
Let's
and
do it. I'm gonna do it.
your mentality, I think that you'll snap in real easily, man. I think you got a good setup here, and I think that you could really succeed. And I think that it just comes down for you to just, like you said, just hit that button, baby. And I think
That's all it is.
I think the
You're
Mike
right.
Davis I think the Mike Davis content is going to go through the roof once he starts hitting that button, my friends. It's been
I'm gonna do it.
it's been an incredible conversation so far today, man. And I feel like, you know, you really showed us a lot about you and your personality and your style. I mean, I've been seeing a ton of comments in chat, people becoming, you know, getting new fans and new followers, and people having a lot of kind
I
things to
appreciate
say, man.
everybody.
So
Thank you,
listen,
thank
if there's one audience that knows that somebody could do something with streaming, it might be my. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, if they're saying good things, I think that if you pursue that with that consistency, like you're talking about, you'll be pleasantly surprised with how well you do, I think, my friend. All right, I got 2 funny questions to ask you
All right.
before we kind kind of put the closing bell on this here. And these are just funny, stupid questions. So some things I came up with last night, maybe they're funny or maybe they're not. But if you had to pick 3 MMA fighters, doesn't even have to be UFC, but MMA fighters to be on your Warzone squad, who you picking?
Mike Perry.
The dog.
Mighty Mouse.
Yo, he games. He's a gamer.
He's good.
I've hung out with him a few times at gaming
man.
events. He's a really good dude. Talk about another stand-up guy. Mighty Mouse, good dude. All right, and the 4th.
Who else? We got one more.
Who's the clutch? Who's the clutch? I know there's a couple.
I need someone that's good.
I was gonna say, like, I might have to throw out like Holloway or O'Malley. I think both of those guys are big COD guys too.
O'Alley's good at Call of Duty. Let's do O'Malley.
Go O'Malley. Yeah, I think I saw his recent interview. He's like, I haven't gamed. I'm not smoking weed for this fight. Like, I haven't gamed in 3 weeks. I was fucking laughing. I was like, that's funny, man. That's the difference between like the streaming and the fight. And he's like, I'm focused on this fight. I promise you. Like, or somebody asked him, like, you still gaming and smoking weed?
That's his life.
That's a good squad right there. I like that.
He's life. That's a good squad. I mean, you're getting comedy, you're getting content, you're getting wins.
You're gonna have a fun time. I mean, shit, you might only need Mike Perry there to have a good time. Let's be honest, that guy's fucking hilarious.
No, I had him in one of my games.
Oh, he games too, yeah. I didn't actually know that about Mike. Oh no, shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he kind of tries to stay secretive so people don't mess with him, but he'll send me invites every time I'm on.
Oh no, shit. Oh,
yeah, he's good. He's just fun to play with because he's a shit talker.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I feel like
everybody. Oh my god! Last time we got into the games, he was talking shit about Chris Curtis. He's just a shit talker.
What was he talking shit about? Like just in general, or something specific?
I do. It was something specific. I don't remember.
Chris, I like Chris as a fighter, but Chris does like to get active on the social media when things don't go his way. That's for sure. So maybe Mike was making a joke about.
He likes talking.
The Twitter fingers, as they call them.
Oh yeah. Then after they were like posting screenshots, talking shit on their stories.
That's hilarious, dude.
It was funny. It was funny.
I feel like Mike Perry, like there's only one version of Mike Perry, and you get him no matter who you are, whether you're watching him through social media or maybe like you, someone who's friends with him. Like Mike Perry is just Mike Perry, like anywhere he is,
for sure.
And that's why you gotta like appreciate that kind of fucking guy. I feel like he definitely has. And dude,
with the kid,
bare knuckle too, man.
He's having another one.
I feel like he found his home. He's fucking slaying it in bare knuckle, man.
That's definitely a spot.
Yeah, he found his home, so I'm happy to see that. The kid, the wife, yeah, good shit for Mike Perry. All right, next question. You had to pick 3 UFC fighters or MMA fighters to survive with on an island. Who you picking?
Oh my god. To survive,
I'm coming random.
Oh, okay. I'm super smart, so I feel like
you're the brains.
I'll be the brains.
You need a brute.
So I need a brute.
I feel like we're going up a couple weight classes for that.
I need someone who's used to living on nothing. Let's do Francis Ngannou.
Right, bam. That was one of the when I thought of this question last night, I said Francis has got to be there.
Yeah, he's got strength, and I feel like coming from his growth, he knows how to survive.
Right. The man can make it work. Who else you got?
Else?
2 more. I got one in mind, but I don't want to influence you yet.
Oh, okay. Dang, this is
I feel like you need
that's a good one.
You need like a hunter, fisher, like something like that.
Yeah, so someone's saying Jiri, and I feel like that's a good one because he's always. That man is living in the wilderness.
That's the guy you fucking hear like a weird scream at like 4 a.m. when it's pitch black dark. You like, Jerry, go out there and fucking figure out what it was.
I just killed 2 bears and
he comes back with 2 skulls in his hands, like, brothers, look what I got. And throws them on the table or some shit.
And then I don't know if he can cook. Who can cook?
Yeah, I was gonna say we know an MMA fighter who's like big on cooking or whatever. If you didn't bring up Yuri, I was gonna say Potan. Every time I see those Pereira, all those pre-fight videos of him doing the fucking hunting and like running through the woods with like the whole heritage get up. Yeah, I was gonna say Potan. I think Pereira I'd throw up there as well.
It's so hard.
Chad Mendes.
Hard.
I think I seen a fuck. What's his name? Who's that? I think he's a lightweight. He's super. A Stamen, Cody Stamen. I feel like he's always posting outdoor shit too. Lots of hunting and stuff, man.
Oh, Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, true. You got the
Bryce
farmer
Mitchell
there, bro.
lives in the farm.
He'll
Yeah.
start growing some
Let's
shit
see.
for you. Wrestle some
So we
fucking
got a farmer.
animals.
And look. Here, it's right here. See, I like to read. I got all of it. I'm gonna know what to do. I just know what to do.
That's good. Who's that buyer? We'll give him a free plug today.
I can't say that name. Are you kidding? For new?
Let me see. I got to make it bigger.
there
Dude,
you go.
Kai for. I like how you said that. A little French, little Kai Fenu, something like that. I like that. That's a good squad. Bryce Mitchell, Pereira, or no, Nagano and Yuri. That's a good group right there. I think you guys would survive some good time on that island.
We need Bryce Mitchell, but I think Bryce Mitchell will be very important for the farming. We'll get all the crops and stuff.
Yeah, he'll get you some regenerative farming or whatever it's called, when they like make it so the land can continually grow shit forever. You know what I mean? And then you guys will be good. You chill on the island. You guys will fucking spar. Survive. Start the island fight club like you came up on. All right, Mike. Well, hey, man. I was gonna say in closing here, dude. It's really been a great time talking to you, buddy. I feel like you let us in on some stuff, and we got to learn a lot about you and your style. And I think it's made me even more excited to see your return. If you guys missed it earlier on, Mike is looking to get back in action before the end of the year. If not, to sneak into that extra special Madison Square Garden fight card. Being a New Yorker, tried and true. I think that's probably the bucket list thing for anybody who's a professional competitor in anything, is to be in the Garden. So make sure you guys keep your eyes out for Mike Davis's return coming in, and maybe Mike and I maybe we can incentivize Moicano. We'll do some games or something one day, have some fun, maybe hop into some Warzone or something, chill out, and kick it off, man, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And if you're out there in the Garden,
sounds fun.
I'm gonna try to get out there and come cheer you on, because I think I might already be going out there if Moicano's on there too. So that'd be pretty fucking sweet if you got out there too.
Oh heck yeah! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
You know who would be fun to fight too? Patty.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to fight Patty, but if he wants to come to Madison Square Garden to fight, it'd be fun.
Garden's a draw, right?
Be my little return fight.
Yeah, Garden's a draw. I was gonna say, I saw you talk with him on Twitter yesterday. I know I chimed in. Steamroller might want to beat you to that fight. I know he's been all over that fight too forever.
He's been on that fight.
Yeah.
I'd give it to him. Me and Steamroller are good friends, so I would let him have it. He
does a little shit in Florida too sometimes too, right? Have I seen? Or
he's in a spot better to fight. I mean, personally, if I was him, I would not even bother with Patty the Batty. I would say he's a stepping stone now. He's like a kick rocks.
Matt's above him now.
I'm gonna keep going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a good fight for me,
bro.
I would absolutely destroy Patty.
I think you most definitely would. I think that Matt would most definitely destroy him as well. I mean, we all know that was one of the more controversial decisions in the recent times, was his over Jared, right? So
yeah, for sure.
I think that
I was at that fight.
Oh, were you? No shit.
Just, I left because of that fight. I left.
You're like, I don't even want to fucking watch anymore.
Yeah, I didn't even want to watch the rest of it. I just left. That was the co-main. I was like, oh, no, I'm out. I'm done.
Dude, good thing I didn't do that when I was in Utah the other week. Otherwise, I would have missed that head kick. You know what I'm saying? But dude, sometimes those fights, they do be having, which sucked too, because the co-main event was Blachowicz and Pereira, and it wasn't that great of a fight, sadly. That was like the worst fight of the whole card, to be honest. I think there was 12 finishes, and there was 10 finishes on 12 fights, and who would have thought that Blachowicz and Pereira wouldn't have been one of the finishes?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Definitely didn't see that.
Super crazy.
That happening. But,
not at all. That was crazy.
But that was that would be pretty cool, man. Like, yeah, even for you, I feel like Patty's a stepping stone, but Patty's a payday, it seems like, at least. So get that payday, and then you get back to the belt.
A name build and a payday.
That's right.
That's all I want.
No, right. That's right. Get them extra kick and Twitch followers at the same time with the UFC followers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do.
Hell yeah, Mike. Well, hey guys, once again, Mike, give us the plug for the streaming services, and then for the social medias. We get everybody to go out there, show you some love.
All right. I'm Kick and Twitch is Mike Davis UFC, and then Instagram, Twitter. That's all. Mike Davis MMA.
Mike Davis MMA. Yo, man. Well, hey, buddy.
Mhm.
Thanks again for coming on the show. Was fucking awesome. I'm gonna throw this out on like YouTube and stuff too. So when we get those links
Oh, yeah.
published out, I'll shoot
Sweet,
them.
I'll take
I'll
clips
shoot them
from
your way. And yeah, grab some clips from it. Feel free to use like whatever you want to use for it.
I'm gonna change my
book
name
there,
right
man.
now to Majin
Let's
Mike
go.
on,
All right.
on all my stuff.
Let's go.
So
That's
look for either Mike Davis UFC, and if it hasn't changed, you look for Majin Mike.
That's, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're breaking news here. We're getting, Mike
That's
is
breaking
ready.
news.
He's switching the name up, and I think I might have gotten him a little bit fired up to hit a little 7-day stream challenge or something. So
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my 7-day stream.
I say
challenge.
before-
We're gonna start that. Let's start it on Sunday.
Let's
I got
go.
the event this weekend, so we'll
let's
start on
go.
Sunday.
Yeah, after a nice night.
No,
of,
Saturday, because I had a stream on Saturday
I was
anyway.
gonna
So
say,
we'll start
get a
Saturday.
little warm up for the millions. A couple hours on
There we go.
Twitch or Kick, you know. Yo, yeah. Where can
All right, let's
where
do
can
it.
we find you this weekend? I might even
Yeah,
try to
I'll
come
still
by
be.
and say what's
I'll
up.
still be everywhere.
Mi-
I disobey the rules all the time, so I'll be on literally everything you can think of. I'll be live.
So
on.
when you're on millions, you'll be simulcasting all over. Is what you're
Yes.
saying? Or okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, I like it. Mike said, "Fuck it, we'll do what we want here, baby." You know?
Oh, for sure.
Because
I'm not big enough for them to care right now.
I think that's a good way to put it. And you know, even if they do care, well, listen, man, they ain't gonna care that much. They'll give you a little slap on the wrist, and we'll figure it out. Hey,
Yeah,
Mike?
exactly.
That's right. Hey, Mike. Well, hey, once again, brother, thanks so much for coming on. Awesome fucking time, and I'll talk to you soon, bud.
Absolutely.
All right, peace, buddy.
Take care.
Baby, what an episode. That was amazing. That was amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.